Welcome to the Neighborhood Street Traffic Calming Program for Woodberry Drive. We'll start with an overview of the program and then get into the details for Woodberry Drive. I am Harrison Turner. I'm a consultant working with the Nashville Department of Transportation, also known as NDOT. And so we'll be going through the street with you today. So starting with the overview of the program, starting with just what is traffic calming. The Neighborhood Street Traffic Calming Program focuses on residential streets. We implement physical solutions that encourage lower speeds over significant lengths. And the main focus is speed reduction, making it a safer street for all users. We do this through the 3 E's of traffic calming. The first one is education. That's things like this presentation that can educate the public on the dangers of speeding and how driving at a slower, safer speed really does help all users. The other second E is enforcement. That's our great partners at the Metro Nashville Police Department. They handle the enforcement side of this. And the third E that's near and dear to my heart as an engineer is the actual engineering of the streets. That is what we are going to be focusing on, implementing those physical solutions to engineer a safer street for all users. The reason we do this is through our Vision Zero initiative. That is the vision that there will be 0 deaths on our streets. And the reason we focus so much on speed is a pedestrian, if it has an accident with a vehicle and the vehicle is traveling at 55 or 25 miles an hour, the pedestrian has an 89% chance of surviving that accident, where that chance drops all the way down to 35 miles per hour, or 35% at a 45 mile per hour speed. So it's a huge difference for a pedestrian's outcome if the vehicle is traveling at a safer, lower speed. This is a very popular program. We've had over 450 applications from streets around Davidson County since February 2023. We were able to select several streets, 26, and then some additional streets on top of that with this newest selection in 2023. So outside the program, I want to direct you to Hub Nashville. I personally have used this to fix some sidewalk. You can reach Hub Nashville via the app or hub.nashville.gov, or you can call 311. I personally have used it to fix sidewalk in front of my house. I think it's a great resource. So Woodberry Drive is shown on the street as the one highlighted in yellow in the center, connecting McGavick Pike. So this is just an aerial showing your street and then other traffic calming projects around. So the actual traffic calming measures that are recommended for Woodberry Drive, we'll go through those now. The first one is those speed cushions. That is kind of our bread and butter for the our Neighborhood Street Traffic Calming Program. They're modular rubberized devices, and they have the gaps between the cushions to reduce impact to emergency vehicles. They are 3 inches tall, 6 feet wide, and we are proposing 14 feet long cushions for this project. They do have an impact. They have a great impact at lower end speeds. The average speed drops from 31 to 22, and the 85th can drop from 37 to 25. This is actual data from streets that we have measured in Davidson County. We did a pre and post data collection on 6 streets. So this is real data from actual implementation in our town. The other thing we're going to use is the radar feedback sign. They have an average speed reduction of 6 miles per hour and a 7 mile per hour speed reduction on the 85th speed. So we are going to be proposing those. We use those where we can't use a cushion due to the local geometry, hills, curves, that sort of thing. So the overview of the project is 8 sets of cushions along Woodberry Drive and then 1 radar feedback sign as you approach McGavick Pike heading down the hill and in the curve. So there's an overview of the project on screen. And we'll go through the individual locations of these devices over the next few slides. The first is the radar feedback sign, like I said, approaching McGavick, coming down the hill in that curve. That is a good place for radar feedback signs. People try to speed up coming down the hill, so that will alert drivers that, hey, they're going a little bit faster than they need to be. And then at the top of the hill before you get to that is a set of cushions. We have another set of cushions, 2 sets of cushions actually, between Hibbett's Road, that loop, One of them is the standard configuration of 2 cushions. The other one, the roadway, gets a little wider, so it goes to 3 cushions. That 3 cushion configuration continues with the next 3 sets of cushions heading to the east. And then it goes down, the roadway narrows again, and we go back to those two cushion configuration for the last 2 sets of cushion as you get closer to Donaldson Pike. So there are the 2 configurations you see. When the roadway is less than 24 feet, we're going to use 2 sets of cushions centered in the lane. And then if the roadway gets a little wider, up to 28 feet, we do go to three sets of cushions, just to fill the void, make sure there aren't gaps that cars can try to get around. So the process that we've gotten to this far, and then what we're going to move forwards up on screen. It started with an application, and then all the streets that applied were prioritized and selected based on the need. So Woodberry Drive had a need high enough based on our prioritization matrix to be selected. We had a meeting 1 to get you the overview of the community on the design. We presented a concept that was very similar to what we have now. Took your feedback and then added it to the design. That's where the design happens. And then this step is meeting 2 after we've refined the design to present that to you based on your comments and to see if there are any additional comments before we move on to the ballot. The next step is the ballot. You expect that in your mail in the coming weeks. There is a 6-week window once you receive the ballot card. It should be printed on the card, and when that 6-week window ends, for you to vote yes or no. In order for the ballot to pass, there needs to be a 66% favorable vote. That is of the people that vote. That's not of residents on the street. So if there's only 3 people that vote, 2 of them need to vote yes for that ballot to pass. And then assuming the ballot passes, we will move on to construction. So the ballot will look very similar to the card that you received for this meeting. It has a QR code and then an individual ID code that you will get. That makes sure that there's only 1 vote per household. And once again, you can respond yes or no, and we need 66% of the respondents to vote yes in order for the project to move forward. So next steps from timeline, it'll take about 2 weeks for us to get the ballots and the postcards all mailed out. Then there will be a 6-week ballot period for you to vote yes or no. After that 6 weeks are over, if the ballot is successful, it takes about 4 months for us to get the material ordered, and then another 4 months for us to get the contractors lined up and then get the installation. So the ballot zone shown on screen, it's the residential properties that front Woodberry Drive. Once again, it's residential properties, churches, and schools. And it's only people that actually have property that abuts the right of way of Woodberry Drive. If you own multiple properties, you do only get 1 vote. You don't get a vote per property you own. You get 1 vote if you own any property along Woodberry Drive. And then businesses are ineligible. If you have any questions, feel free to contact NDOT directly at NDOT.TrafficCalming.Nashville.gov, or you can reach out to me personally. I'm the project manager for this project. My email is harrison.turner@kimley-horn.com. We'll take any questions now. Okay, so the first question from the chat is asking about the cushions and how many there were in the concept versus now. There were 9 in the original concept based on feedback we got from the community. We've spaced those a little bit further and a little bit more even, so now there's 8 in the current plan. All right, we got another question in the chat asking about who's eligible to vote. So that, once again, is residents of Woodberry Drive, people whose right-of-way does front Woodberry Drive. Only residents, churches, and schools get a vote. All right, and we got another question in the chat about people diverting to side streets. That may happen. That is not the goal of the program. The goal of the program is to slow down traffic that does travel on Woodberry Drive. We're not trying to get drivers to use other streets. We understand that may happen, but that is not the goal of the program, nor something that we're trying for. There's a question about how the YouTube link will be shared. The best way to get to the YouTube link is to go just Google NDOT traffic calming. There is a website there as part of Nashville.gov. that you can go to, and then there is a link that says watch traffic calming videos, and that will link you straight to the traffic calming videos on YouTube. That's probably the easiest way to get to it. The actual website is www.nashville.gov/departments/transportation/plans and programs/traffic calming. Once again, just Googling NDOT traffic calming is probably the easiest way to get to that. All right, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat, and I'm not hearing anything. So thank you so much for your time, and have a great night.